The NCAA tournament, beg your pardon.
No, you're welcome.
Stanford falling 4-0 to Texas yesterday. Oklahoma State lost 1-0 to Florida. Somebody's going to have to score today, and it'll be the Stanford Cardinal to grab the bats first and hit against Lexi Kilfoyle. Their starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Taryn Kern will lead off for the Cardinal, an All-American a season ago who has been extraordinarily patient. Her home run numbers have dropped from 22 to 7. Can she find some pop? A little bit of a lineup change. Kaylin Koch up to third. Ava Gall, who had the only hit, down to 7. That's because of the drop ball matchup that they'll see with Lexi Kilfoyle. There is the All-American, the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, and the National Player of the Year finalist, her catcher, Caroline Wong. It is hard to find a more experienced battery in college softball than Kilfoyle and Wong. They are 2 of the 5 Oklahoma State players whose careers would end with a loss tonight. And as is typical with Oklahoma State, there's a sense of a looseness about them, despite the fact that they're in an elimination game for the first time this postseason. We love pitchers' duels. Nobody loves pitchers' duels more than you. Who knows what's going to happen? The last time 2 National Player of the Year finalists pitched against each other at the World Series, 6 years ago, Rachel Garcia's UCLA Bruins beat Kelly Barnhill's Florida Gators 6-5 in a game with 5 home runs. Is that likely? No, but it's the World Series. Anything can happen, and it will happen with Lexi Kilfoyle taking the circle first.
And Lexi Kilfoyle stands at over 6 feet tall, and she likes to live more down in the zone with her drop ball. She'll throw her drop ball about 77% of the time, and then mix in this changeup that she'll work in about 13% of the time. That is a deceptive pitch, but because she lives more down in the zone, she creates a lot of ground ball action for her infield and the ability to turn the double play when a runner gets on and there is a force out. Infield gets a lot of action. She'll get the strikeout too. She was throwing gas last night when she got the start against Florida. 77% of the time she'll work that drop ball, 13% of the time her changeup.
Her head coach Kenny Gajewski has taken the Cowgirls to the World Series now 5 consecutive times. The only other team to do that, Oklahoma. He didn't seem terribly worried with his remarks last night after Oklahoma State's loss. Just felt like they ran into a good pitcher in Keegan Rothrock. They'll run into a good pitcher again today, but this has been a loose Cowgirls team all year. A lot of freshmen, a lot of transfers, tons of new faces. And on the World Series stage, it'll be Oklahoma State for a 5th straight time, Stanford for a 2nd straight time, trying to keep their seasons, trying to keep, in some cases, their careers alive.
Leading off for Stanford.
It'll be Taryn Kern and Lexi Kilfoyle to kick us off. Another fabulous crowd, another fabulous night. The epicenter of the softball world is once more Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, on the last day of May 2024. And Taryn Kern, as she typically does, takes the first pitch. It's a called strike at 8:48 local.
Already we're having some electronic device communication issues with Caroline Wong back there. That is new this year, to be able to have that. That was a rule change to implement that into the game on defense.
There's a new pitch clock, action clock, if you will, in college softball this year, 20 seconds in between. So the devices are an easier way for teams to signal in pitches quickly, rather than the traditional look down, flash a sequence of fingers, look at the wrist card. Now it's just make a selection, take a look at the watch, and go. Kern's 2nd in the nation in walks. And she takes a changeup for strike 2.
Can you believe how on top of the plate that Taryn Kern gets? I mean, I feel like if you're tuning in this game and watching for the first time, I mean, you see that her toes are on the chalk line. Now I think with 2 strikes, she'll back just a couple of inches off like she has in the postseason and all year. Makes it tough for Lexi Kilfoyle or any pitcher to throw her inside because she loves to crowd the plate. Has a really good eye. It's hit by a lot of pitches too.
was a great look from our cam, which is being worn by Tracy Laycock behind the plate tonight. Robbie Guest, Chad Steer, Steve Gould first to third. Fifth pitch to Kern. Take it low. Stanford Cardinal 48-16. They went 17-7 in the Pac-12. It's their fourth trip to the World Series, second in a row. Last year they lost on day one, won the next two. Both were shutout wins before falling to Oklahoma in the semis. Kern with a slow ground ball that's fouled off of her foot. Historically at the World Series, the Cardinal have been a pitching first team. Jessica Allister, catcher on those first two World Series team, head coach on the last two. Added Taryn Kern out of the transfer portal. Just the second transfer in Stanford softball history. Try to inject a little offensive life into this team. And the Cardinal are better at the plate this year. Gone from 4.4 to 4.7 runs per game. They've more than doubled their home run total. And though Kern hasn't delivered those gaudy numbers, she has been a major acquisition in the field and at the plate.
She was one of the biggest names in the transfer portal in the offseason, and from Indiana to closer to home.
Eighth pitch to the San Jose native is fouled away.
And Coach Allister liked the approach that her offense had against Texas more in the beginning of the game, and then felt like in the middle to end of the game and her post-game presser that they didn't make adjustments, and that it was Tegan Kavan who was pitching against them. She just started to dominate the game in the later innings. But like the way that they generated a little bit of offense early on.
Ninth pitch to Kern is up and in, and it hit the knob of the bat. So foul ball.
It's a changeup that just made its way up and in on the hands. Right off the knob of the bat. Great look there.
Nearly was hit for the 23rd time. Kern awfully decisive at the plate, and she is setting the tone for the evening. 10 pitches and still no result. She saw 16 pitches, and her 3 at-bats yesterday was 0 for 3, struck out twice. On the 11th here, Kern draws a walk. That's as great a base on balls as you're going to see.
So just about everything that Lexi Kilfoyle has to offer in that 11-pitch at bat. Her 57th walk this season. That's why she has that insane on-base percentage, over 500.
Kira Chan, number 2 hitter. How about this for Taryn Kern? That's her 39 at-bat in the first inning. But you throw in all the plate appearances, 21 walks, hit by 7 pitches. So this is her 65th game of the year, 28 of the 65. She's got a free pass to lead off the game. 11 pitches here, and Chan tried to bunt her over on the first one to her. And Chan will try to bunt again.
Well, and Kevin, that wasn't a bat where Taryn Kern was really sure of what she was seeing. And that's what Jessica Allister said in the post-game presser, that instead of getting more comfortable as the game went on and they got more at-bats, they got tighter and they started guessing. So setting the tone right out the gate of not guessing, but knowing what the game plan is and what you're looking for in the box.
She felt like they got sped up. Maybe it had to do with the nerves on the big stage. A lot of it had to do with Tegan Kavan, who threw a 1-hit shutout. But already a much more solid start with the 11-pitch walk. And now Chan, who is hitting 167 on March 24th, is about 350 in the 34 games since. Way up high, and a good snag by Wong to keep Kern at first.
And that's a pitch that you'll notice that Lexi Kilfoyle will use every now and then to show more up in the zone to set up her down. The goal with that pitch is not to get a strikeout, not to get a swing and miss really, but just to show it to make her down stuff look even sharper. Goes right back up to it. What do I know?
Makes you think the down stuff's going to be even sharper, and then doubles up top.
Something that she's worked on late in her career is being able to go up more. Doesn't show this a ton, just like a high fastball up in the zone, but she brought it down from the pitch before and gets a swing and miss. And here I am thinking we're going to see a drop ball. We saw up in the zone again.
This ball hit into right by Kaylin Koch, hangs up there for a while, and Lexi McDonald tracks it down. So first pitch out, just what Kilfoyle needed after 11 pitch walk and a 5-pitch strikeout. Ali Kaneshiro, the All Pac-12 senior. Kaneshiro, one of 4 Stanford players who will exhaust their eligibility after this tournament. And she is the leader of the bunch. Came in here in Montana Dixon, class of 2021, really mentored her when Allie got to college. She is a 4th-year starter, brilliant behind the plate, 3rd in the nation in defensive runs saved. And she's added a little more pop to her game this year, the most home runs by a Stanford player since Caleb Bodstrom 9 years ago.
This is one of those players that provides steadiness and a calm force back behind the plate and at the plate and the locker room. Not a lot of power in the Stanford lineup and just in the program in general, but Ali Kaneshiro is the one that has some pop.
Curran the runner at first, and that one skips away. Curran will take second because it hit Kaneshiro. Curran was sprinting, thinking it was a wild pitch, but that caught a piece of Ali Kaneshiro. Kilfoyle's walked a batter and hit a batter in the first.
This drop ball just hits that front shin of Kaneshiro. I mean, Lexi Kilfoyle last night against Florida was just nails. One mistake, the home run pitch to Katie Kissler, and that was the difference in the game.
Jay Berry with the ground ball right back to her, and Kilfoyle escapes. Longer first inning than she would have liked, but a 0. Nyjah Kennedy takes the circle next. Spectacular sunset tonight here in OKC. Fans all over OGE Field at Devon Park, hanging out in the seats and on the railings. Standing room only. Ready for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. Kenny Gajewski's team, Big Boppers, 11 home runs in their first 5 games in the NCAA tournament. 92 on the season. That is 1 shy of a Cowgirl record. 8th in the country in slugging percentage. 5th in home runs per game. Big bats versus big arm. Nyjah Kennedy looking to bounce back from a tough game 1.
Yeah, she didn't look as sharp as we've seen her at the World Series last year and just in general in her career last night. She has a chance to redeem herself, and she has always the possibility to do that with this rise ball that is electric in the top of the zone at 70 to 75 miles an hour coming at your eyes. But it's been the changeup this year that has set her apart and set that rise ball apart, made her even tougher to hit than her freshman year, and why she is the National Player of the Year. She'll use her rise ball 55% of the time and her changeup 9%. Look at the whiff rate for that changeup. 47% of the time people swing at it, they completely miss it. And the opponent batting average against it, just .088.
The National Player of the Year against Oklahoma State, and Jillian Poulard takes ball 1 high. 70 on the gun to start the night from Kennedy, who's been clocked in the mid-70s time and again. Electric speed with that rise ball for the nation's leader in strikeouts. High and tight to Pollard, ball 2. Oklahoma State was completely shut down by Keegan Rothrock yesterday. Lexi McDonald singled in the 2nd. Caroline Wong singled in the 6th. Talon Edwards walked in the 1st. Carly Godwin walked in the first. Those were the only 4 base runners against the freshman Rothrock. There were some better swings, Kenny Gajewski thought, than maybe 2 hits would tell you. But on the box score, it was only 2 hits, no runs in their World Series debut. Poulard's taken 4 straight. That's a high strike.
You can see that split grip that she'll use in her stance, where her left hand is a couple of inches separated from her right hand for that barrel control. It has been hot in the NCAA tournament.
6 hits, 5 for extra bases, 3 homers. First swing of the game, Poulard rips it to the screen. Edwards and Wong to follow her. A senior, a sophomore, and a senior. A transfer, very young sophomore, and another transfer for Oklahoma State, which has become Transfer U. Even in a world where everybody goes into the portal, even Stanford these days, Oklahoma State does it uncommonly well. Yep. Up the ladder, Poulard couldn't control her barrel. And it's a strikeout to start the night for Nyjah.
A strikeout and a little bit more energy already early in this game than what we saw out of her yesterday after the strikeout. When Kennedy is feeling good, she's getting swings and misses. She is showing this emotion and speaking to Ali Kaneshiro, yelling to her catcher and her battery mate. She is bringing all of that emotion and energy in the circle.
That was one of the things that stood out yesterday. Not just that the zip on the pitches wasn't there. It's that the zip on the person wasn't there. We have seen Nyjah Kennedy on the stage. We've talked to her. She has an amazing personality. She'll stomp her foot often after a strikeout. And facing the nation's #1 team, that just wasn't there. She's looking to do what she did in Super Regionals against LSU. Turn a tough opening round game like she had last night into a Game 2 shutout. 1-1 for Edwards. Sophomore talent Edwards, Oklahoma native, .428 on base percentage. That's the second best of any Cowgirl. Very difficult batter to strike out.
And Oklahoma State early in this game and their first 2 plate appearances have had some really good takes. You know what you're going to get from Kennedy. She's going to go up in the zone with her rise ball consistently. You know that you need to see the ball down. And you know that she's going to bring it with velocity. That changeup she might hold on to until second time through the order, or use it sparingly the first time through. Trying to be unpredictable with that pitch.
Kennedy's 3-2. Fouled away off the foot of Edwards. Six-pitch strikeout to Poulard. It'll be a 7th to Talon Edwards for the 49 win. Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Only 11 losses. Edwards pops it up. Kaneshiro does not have a play. Nyjah Kennedy, a complete game yesterday. She has thrown more than 80% of the innings for Stanford here in the NCAA tournament, now starting 8 of their 9 games. Edwards, and an off-speed pitch here. Got her back to it, rounded out to second. Well, this is only the 5th time. Heavens, Nyjah Kennedy's given up 2 earned runs in a game this season. The first 4 times she gave up 2 earned runs, she came back with 3 shutouts and a game where she allowed a single earned run. So when Nyjah struggles once, she doesn't struggle twice.
She learns from her mistakes. She is a hard worker and communicates a lot with her catcher, Ali Kaneshiro, and her pitching coach, Tori Nyberg. They go to work after the game, and that maybe she struggles a little bit to get back on the same page and really know and understand what went wrong, and more importantly, what she's going to do to be better the next game. Caroline
Wong swings and misses at a rise ball. Jessica Allister says, I think Tori Nyberg needs to be talked about more as the best pitching coach in the country. She was a terrific pitcher at Stanford. She's been with Jessica Allister all 7 years. 1-2.
And already she's getting more swings and misses than what she had against Texas. Against Texas, she just had a handful the entire game. And credit Texas's approach. I mean, they have one of the best offenses in the country, but even when she goes up against the best offenses, you're used to seeing her get swings and misses like that.
Wong pops one up towards short. Kennedy had 5 swings and misses all yesterday. 4 in the first. It's a perfect first for Nyja.
Welcome back to the Women's College World Series as we head to the second inning. When it comes to the Stanford sophomore class, they've done a lot of work off the field to make sure they are as close as can be. There was a team trip going into the start of this season. The sophomore class flew out to San Diego. That's where they started. They headed to see Kira Chan's family. Then they drove up the coast all together to see Allison Morikawa's family. They made a little stop at Disneyland along the way. A key part of this, guys, no one had met Taryn Kern yet. She had just transferred in, and they said, hey, she's part of the sophomore class. Let's invite her and see if she wants to come. She said, all right, I'm in. And she jumped in on the road trip. It ended with Emily Jones' family up in Malibu. I'm told they're going to do it again when this season comes to an end. Perhaps a trip out to Hawaii this upcoming season, but a huge part of the team building and the chemistry that this Stanford team has coming from the sophomores.
How do we get invited on that road trip? That sounds amazing, Alyssa. And it's a team that has so many young players that are fitting together quickly. They've had their backs to the wall 3 times in this postseason. 3 elimination games. They've won them all so far. 1 against Cal State Fullerton in the regionals, 2 against LSU in the supers. This one flied to left by one of those sophomores, River Mailer, and Claire Tim couldn't get to it, foul territory. And they weren't just facing elimination. They were facing elimination after big losses. They lost to Fullerton in the first regional final. Nearly got run rule. They did get run rule by LSU. 8-1 to Fullerton, 11-1 to LSU. And then the 3 elimination games outscored their opponents 15-2. So this is nothing new for this young Stanford group. Ball to strike to River Mailer.
They know what it's like to play with their backs against the wall, and experience with anything only makes you better and more comfortable and stronger. So the fact that they've already played in a couple of elimination games makes them feel a little bit more at ease in this one.
Mailer flips one out to Edwards, drawn in third baseman.
But with this young team, too, I mean, at the very beginning of the year, Coach Allister said it's fun and it's all brand new. And despite this team being here last year at the Women's College World Series, it is a very different looking team because of injuries that they had last season that kept some starters out, and because of new freshmen and defensive shuffling that they've had. She called it at the beginning of the year a youthful exuberance about this team.
Here's one of the players who's been in the middle of that exuberance, Ava Gall, the freshman. Ava had the only hit for Stanford yesterday. It was a first inning single off of Tegan Cavan. Gall elevates one high, deep, right field, and out of here. The player with Stanford's only other hit in the World Series just drove in the Cardinals' first run. Ava Gall with a goner, and it's 1-0 Card.
And there is a spark of that youthful exuberance that Coach Allister talks about. This is a changeup well up in the zone that Kilfoyle holds onto, and then Ava Gall holds onto it on her bat and sends it over the right field wall. Ava Gall is hitting 118 off of a drop ball. She is hitting 259 off of a changeup. Hits better off of the off speed, gets one up in the zone, a mistake, and she knew it, put Stanford on the board first.
That's her 11th home run, tying Kaneshiro for the team lead. It's her second home run off a changeup. And it is the lid lifter on this elimination Friday night. Emily Jones fouls one away. So 2 hits for Stanford at the World Series, both from Ava Gall, as the Cardinal now have the second most home runs in their history with 55. Jones with a ground ball right back to Kilfoyle. They're 2 down.
It sure does feel good to be the team that strikes first in an elimination game and put more pressure on the other team. I mean, you know, before anybody scores, before there is a pitch thrown, there is pressure in this game because your season is on the line. But when you go and pull ahead, you put even more pressure on the other team and you gain a little bit of momentum.
The teams that have scored first at this World Series are 4-1. Stanford gets the first one here, and the softball finds a new home. The tradition here at Oklahoma City is the home run ball goes to the family members of the player who hits it. They're waving that thing around, the folks from Palo Alto and all over the country. Stanford parents, families, and friends. 1-1 for the graduate student Caitlin Libb. Making her 28th career start in the NCAA tournament. Strike 2. With Nyjah Kennedy in the circle, sometimes one is enough. Cardinal last year 26 home runs a team. This year they're at 55. Slugging percentage gone up about 50 points. That's a little off the plate, 2-2.
They're just being so patient in their at-bats. Look really comfortable and confident with their takes. Saw it from the other side too with Oklahoma State and Poulard's first at bat against Kennedy.
In here to left. They've elevated a lot of balls tonight. This one's routine for Tim. The one a couple of batters ago was not routine for anybody. Ava Gall makes it 1-0 Stanford.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Back to Oklahoma City with Lexi Kilfoyle and Nyjah Kennedy going head-to-head. The top 2 pitchers in the nation by ERA, but 2 pitchers who look completely different in the circle.
I love breaking this down because you have 2 top 3 finalists for National Player of the Year, and they do it in completely different ways. Rise ball and drop ball, splitting the zone vertically. Nyjah Kennedy gets hitters to swing underneath the ball. Lexi Kilfoyle gets hitters to swing over top of the ball. So just really unique to me when you think about pitchers. Not all are built the same in terms of their strengths and their weaknesses, but both of these pitchers throw with good velocity, 68, 70, 71 miles an hour, have changeups that look completely different, and their strengths, one up, one down, makes for a really interesting pitcher's duel.
Most of the time you know what they're going to throw, and most of the time you can't hit it anyway. Kennedy against Carly Godwin now with a 1-0 lead. Often 1 is enough for the Stanford sophomore with a 0.76 ERA. Trying to send the Cardinal into Sunday night. That will be a matchup with the loser of UCLA Oklahoma. 0-2 for Carly Godwin.
I went outside a couple of times to get ahead at Godwin, and when they were facing Keegan Rothrock for Florida last night, she threw them hard and over and over and over again. They could not get their barrels to those pitches that were about a ball off the plate. Some were getting called strikes, some they were helping her out with. Another electronic device issue here, got to switch it out.
Nyjah Kennedy with a 1-2-3 first inning. She's now faced 369 batters the first time through the order this year, and has not allowed a home run the first time through the order in any one of her 39 games. By the way, she has a 48% strikeout rate the first time through the order. So typically, if teams get to Nyjah, it's later in the game when they've seen her, but they severely struggle hitting off Kennedy the first time. Godwin chases way off the plate. Kennedy with strikeouts to open each of the first 2 innings.
And we can talk about her rise ball and her changeup, but she'll also mix in this curve ball too. She'll throw it 15% of the time. That's one of her better ones right there too. Worked Godwin on the outer half within that at bat, got her to chase that pitch. Curve ball mixed in with that rise and change. If it's looking like that, could be a long night.
Up and away, Rosie Davis, a freshman. Davis, all Big 12 freshman team. She and Godwin are roommates. Carly out of Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. Rosie out of Readyville, Tennessee. She's at a big tournament. OPS of 1180 with 3 extra base hits and 2 walks in the Cowgirls' first 6 games. Davis is also a terrific rise ball hitter. 433 on the rise ball. Changeup just 211.
So interesting already to see the different approach that Kennedy is taking against Oklahoma State hitters, working them more away than what Florida and Keegan Rothrock did last night, and had a lot of success with the shutout.
Kennegaski felt like this team just did not see the ball well in yesterday, and they saw it in a lot against Keegan Rothrock. Florida just kept going in. Oklahoma State really never got to it. Davis stays alive, 3-2. Up and in. What did that hit? Is it a swing? It is. Robbie Gould says it's a swing by Davis, therefore a strikeout, even though the ball hit her.
Yeah, it's clear swing. And even though it did hit her, the swing is going to take precedent there.
Did you have a swing? You did. We have an out. We have an out.
Tracy Laycott wearing the microphone for us. And it is a strikeout despite the ball hitting the forearm, as Davis clearly went around. They get 3 strikeouts in the first 5 batters for Nyjah. Strike 1 to Claire Tim. Striking out against Nyjah Kennedy, you'd think would be about the most painful thing you can do at softball. Except when she drills you and you're still set down. Claire Tim pops one into center field. The first Oklahoma State base runner is the sophomore Tim, who muscles out a 2-out base hit.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what this was. She muscled it out, ended up getting jammed, but the speed that Nyjah Kennedy provides on her pitches, 70, 72 miles an hour, even when you get jammed, the ball is still going to come off the bat fairly hard.
They were jammed up by Keegan Rothrock all night, but not quite at the same velocity. A lot of weak pop-outs on the infield into the shallow portion of the outfield. Oklahoma State's third hit of the World Series, and now Michaela Ward. Cowgirls were just 0 for 4 with a walk with runners on base last night. 2 strikes quickly.
And every swing and miss fuels Nyjah Kennedy. She loves to see it. As a pitcher, you love to see the barrel miss the ball, especially when you're a strikeout pitcher.
Muscled into right center field. This is shallow, and this is caught by an oncoming limb. Nyjah's got the good stuff tonight. Outside of the first Jessica Allister and Jessica Mendoza era, Stanford really hasn't been known as a softball school. When Jess was a catcher with our Jess, they made the World Series twice. They really struggled after that, but now 5 NCAA tournaments in the last 6 years, hosted a regional and a super. First time since 2009 hosting both. They're in the World Series for the 4th time after making it for the 3rd time last year. Most wins in program history, tied for the most wins in the Pac-12 in program history, and they really challenged themselves in the offseason. Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, and LSU. 4 sophomores made all Pac-12 teams. A lot to like about what Jessica Allister has done here at Stanford. Her 7th year, Jessica Merchant, associate head coach in her 7th year. Tori Nyberg, pitching coach in her 7th year. John Rittman was the head coach 97 to 2014, couple of World Series. He made 16 straight postseasons, even though they weren't typically in the World Series. They were often a winner. He resigned after 2014 NCAA findings of rules violations. Rachel Hansen took over. Stanford had a 3-year stretch where it went 4-68 in the Pac-12, and it historically has been hard to hide in the Pac-12. So here's Jessica Allister, and here is Stanford reaching new heights on the big stage.
And she was teammates with our Jessica Mendoza and also Kat Osterman in travel ball in 2000 and 2001 with the Katy Cruisers. So caught Kat Osterman back in the day too.
Leadoff hitter Taryn Kern knocks one down the line and out of play.
I think that tough schedule, though, that she created for this team, this young team, too, was something she purposefully did to hope that they play their best ball come May and here at the Women's College World Series. And early on, she said, you can schedule easy and win or schedule tough and get better. She knew that that tough schedule when they were traveling all over the place in February would make them better and prepare them for now.
Her leadoff hitter has seen just about every type of pitching you can. Walked on 11 pitches in the first, and Kern takes a changeup a little low.
It seems like Kilfoyle is throwing a couple of different speeds with her changeup, kind of more like that off-speed pitch that she'll throw there at 62. And when her changeup is really working, it's more at a speed of 55, 56. So varying her speeds a little bit throughout.
Softly on the ground to Rosie Davis. A mere 7 pitches to get Taryn Kern this time. Here's a changeup for Lexi Kilfoyle. It was very good last year. It's even leveled up this year. 71% strikes with a pitch which is typically a strike to ball pitch for a lot of pitchers, and a 149 average against.
And there is that changeup right there, too, just clipping the outside corner. But she's using the changeup almost the same amount, but getting more swings with her changeup through the zone. and also 10% more swings and misses on her changeup through the zone. So from 24 to 34%. So 10% higher with that changeup being more effective this year.
Perfect in the first pitch strike department tonight for Lexi Kilfoyle. Kira Chan, that one gets past the glove of Edwards, the third baseman. It's an opposite field hit, and Stanford's first hit of the World Series from somebody other than Ava Gall.
Nice swing here by Chan to stay down on this drop ball, low and away. Gets her barrel down to that pitch, smooth line drive through the left side. Seems like left-handed hitters seem Kilfoyle well. The 2 home runs that she's given up at the World Series have been off the bats of lefties. And she's given up 9 home runs on the year now. 6 of them have come from left-handed hitters.
There's another lefty, Kaylin Coate. Into the game, lefties were hitting 199 against Kilfoyle. Doesn't seem like much, but righties 147. That's a 52-point difference. And eagle-eyed observers of our Capital One starting lineups will have seen the letter L a lot in there. 8 of 9 lefties in the Cardinal lineup. Coke batted 5th yesterday, moved up to 3rd. She really hits drop balls well. And she grounds this one off the glove of the shortstop, Bloodworth. Back-to-back base hits the other way as Kaylin Coate once again does damage on a drop.
Yeah, when you look at the defense and the shift for Oklahoma State, here's Bloodworth playing more up the middle of the field and Talon Edwards at third baseman playing up. And this ball is just peppered past Edwards and just gets past Bloodworth because of her defensive positioning more up the middle. Ends up hitting off of her glove, and Stanford in business now with 2 on.
Cardinal had 2 hits in their first 37 plate appearances of the World Series. And now they're 2 for their last 2. We didn't see any of this in the Stanford dugout yesterday. A much more energized team facing elimination. Here's the only right-handed batter in the lineup. Ali Kaneshiro with a ground ball to Kilfoyle. She spins and gets the lead runner, Chan.
Again, that's the beauty of having a drop ball pitcher. We talked about this at the beginning of the show, is that when there is a force out at second, at home, or at third, she can roll that ground ball, fields her position very well, knew exactly what she wanted to do with her throw and where she wanted to go.
Jessica Allister will bring on a runner for Coate at second base. Danny Hayes is going to take over for her. Well, the Women's College World Series Finals begins on Wednesday. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. We'll see if Oklahoma is back there for a 5th consecutive time, trying to win a 4th consecutive championship. They will play the next game tomorrow on ABC, 3 Eastern, 2 Central, against UCLA. A cool 19 national titles out of the 40 between those two. The Bruins with 12, the Sooners with 7. The winner of that game will go straight through to Monday and need to win just one of a potential 2. The loser will play Sunday night. Need to win then and then win 2 on Monday. Absolutely loaded World Series field this year. 4 of the 8 teams, 50-win teams. First time we've had that many 50-win teams at the World Series since 2000. That one got away from Kilfoyle, a wild one. Hayes to third, Kaneshiro to second. Boy, Lexi has missed up with that drop ball a few times tonight.
Let's go of it late, and it just hits off the very end of Wong's glove as she tries to get out of her squat to catch it.
Off the wild pitch, this one line, fair! Edwards couldn't get to it, and 2 runs will score. The freshman, Jade Berry, slaps a 2-run double the other way, and the Cardinal have the first 3.
Talon Edwards was positioned several feet off of the line and dove for this. Hits off of her glove. I do think it was in fair territory. She signals that it was a foul ball, but because of where she started off the line, this ball just had eyes to get down the line and off of her glove. I thought that ball was in the air long enough for her to be able to make a catch. Talon Edwards, a player who played in the outfield last year, moved to the dirt this year. A big part of the defensive shuffling that Oklahoma State has had in every position. Great effort, but off the bat, that was kind of like a drop ball off of her bat, just sunk down past the glove of Edwards.
Kenny Gajewski asked Tracy Laycock to talk it through with the umpires. They stick with the call on the field, not an official challenge. And the freshman Jade Berry with a 2-run double down the left field line. Berry with her 11th double, 38 RBIs now. Second most on the team, and here's a bunt foul by River Mailer. And for the first time in 20 years, Stanford has put up 3 at the World Series. They were 2-2 last year, and they still did not score 3 in a game. And now Nyjah Kennedy, who's got an ERA of .76, has a heck of a cushion. This one slapped to third and fouled.
On every 60 feet is so important to be able to score here. And even Jessica Allister said that's one of the things that she learned from last year, is just how slim the margins are when you're at the World Series of error and what can be the difference maker in the game. But when Nyjah Kennedy is in the circle, runs are hard to come by.
Ground ball back to Kilfoyle. Nyjah Kennedy's got a 3-run cushion, and the freshmen have driven in all 3 for Stanford. Ava Gall's home run on the second compelled the first one home. Jade Berry brought in the next 2. It's a fired-up Cardinal team, not ready to leave OKC. Stanford's got 3 runs, and Oklahoma State's got just 1 base runner against Nyjah Kennedy. Struck out 3 in 2 nearly flawless innings.
And the last elimination game that she threw was game 3 in the Super Regional against LSU. That is the heat map on the left. That was a win for her. That red area is the area that she excelled. In the opening round in her first game against Texas, look at this area and where she was missing down the zone. Some wild pitches. You can tell that she was just kind of all over the place in that game. Her command was lacking, but she has shown that she is a pitcher that can rebound. And up to this point in this game, that is what she has done. With a few strikeouts that she has gotten, she's been able to work up in the zone and go to more of her strengths, get swings and misses on her rise ball since the first inning, getting chases out of the zone and being able to work that curveball even. But it was just so weird when she was pitching against Texas last night. I know that I noticed it. Danielle Laurie said something about it, missing low in the zone, inside to the right-handed hitters, down and away from the lefties, like just did not have the command. But the way that she rebounded in the Super Regional against LSU, she knows how to pitch in an elimination game and the adjustments to make.
Well, she's got a 3-run lead, and Oklahoma State fans might want to cover their ears for this. Nyjah Kennedy's allowed more than 3 runs 3 times in 38 games this year. Texas, LSU, and then way back February 15th, Florida State. So the Cowgirls, who do not have a run, and have 3 hits in 9 innings at the World Series are only down 3, but it's got to feel like they're being asked to climb Kilimanjaro. Lexi McDonald had good at-bats yesterday, one of the 2 base hits. 1 and 2 for the Silo, Oklahoma native.
And last night, she just seemed a little bit off. And again, Texas had a great approach. I don't want to take away anything from their at-bats that they put together against her, but you've seen Nyjah Kennedy pitch throughout the year or last year. Just seemed like something was missing.
McDonald slices one to left. That gets over the glove of the new left fielder, Danny Hayes. Lexi McDonald lights up the Oklahoma State offense on a ball that Hayes did not track well.
You can tell that Lexi McDonald is feeling very comfortable at the plate here at OKC with her at-bats last night and tonight, squaring up the ball well, but Chan just did not get a good read. Came in first by a couple of steps, Hayes out in left field. The defensive replacement came in. She knew it right away. She saw it go over her head.
McDonald with her 4th double of the NCAA tournament. Oklahoma State will replace her for the time being. Macy Graff is on as a pinch runner. So McDonald with half the Oklahoma State hits. And Megan Bloodworth will bat in the 9th spot. Bloodworth lays down a bunt. Kennedy fields her position very well. Might seem odd to bunt down 3. Bloodworth only is a 186 hitter with a 250 on base percentage. So Oklahoma State trying to get back in this 1 run at a time. And Bloodworth has her 12th sack bunt of the year.
A lot of time left in this game. Just try to handle this lead, chip away at it, 1 run at a time.
Now Jillian Poulard, 2nd time through the order against Kennedy. And Poulard chases one way out of the zone. Oklahoma State did not have a runner at 3rd base all night yesterday. Takes them 10 innings to do it, and it's a run it feels like they absolutely must get in. Poulard with a 1,500 OPS in the tournament coming in, but she has struck out 5 times here in the NCAA tournament. She's 1 strike away from doing it again.
Well, and as this game has gone on, Nyjah Kennedy is getting more swings and misses out of the zone, and she's going to recognize that and continue to expand the zone up and out. Poulard has helped her twice in this at-bat. See if she goes a little bit higher climbing the ladder with her rise. And it's a good take by Poulard with 2 strikes. Probably anticipating that she would climb the ladder and take that to potentially get here to a changeup. We haven't seen Nyjah Kennedy use that changeup much at all.
And hard instead, 3-2. Jillian Poulard, a 2-time All-Southland player at McNeese State. Really felt like she was losing her love for softball. Transferred to Oklahoma State, has sparked this team in the postseason. Big moment for her. And she swings and misses. There's the stomp. There's the fire. There's the fury from Nyjah Kennedy.
She can throw that rise ball well out of the zone, but she can also bring it lower through the zone with a little bit of screw tail action away from Poulard too. And you are right. There is the energy that was missing last night. We got the stomp and the K, most importantly, with that runner 60 feet away.
And now it's up to Edwards, the 3rd baseman. She could not get to that Jay Berry double down the line. It was off her glove in the 3rd inning to bring in 2. Edwards looking for a bit of redemption at the plate in the bottom of this inning. Left side, that ball tracking for Hayes, who tried to get some redemption herself. It's a foul ball. Strike two, even though Berry chased after it all the way from third.
You knew that she saw this ball in the air, Hayes did, and wanted a chance to catch that one after the misread to start off the inning.
Look at the grass stains on her right wrist after going for that ball with everything she had. 2 strikes on Talon.
It's more of a screwball right there. You can tell with Kennedy that she'll step really far left down that lane toward first base and try to cut that screwball away from the left-handed hitters.
Edwards left field again and right into the glove of Hayes. What an inning for her. Kennedy strands a runner at third. She is feeling good. She is back with a vengeance. An ace with attitude.
Welcome back to the 2024 NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Here with Kenny Gajewski. Coach, what has been the message to your hitters going into tonight and throughout the night about facing Nyjah?
Well, obviously she's good, so we gotta stick to a plan, and all of them have somewhat like something that they're gonna do. So just staying in the moment here, staying grounded, and just trusting what you want to do. We're finally starting to take some better cuts, so we still got plenty of chances here. It was a good inning there. We need to figure out a way to score, but we'll get it done.
Lexi took some hits early. What's been the emphasis to her to close this out?
Yeah, I mean, really, there's been one hard hit ball. It's a ball that she left up. Then we got a couple of other dinks and dunks, and that's part of it. Credit them. But we just got to keep our composure as a staff, as a team, and we'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Stanford hitters have put pressure on her in these first 3 innings, and it's been the freshman Ava Gall, the lefty, the solo home run to put Stanford on the board first, and then another lefty freshman and Jade Berry with a couple of RBIs to give Stanford that 3-run lead. This is a young team, and look at the freshmen stepping up.
All 3 RBIs from the 2 freshmen in the lineup. Here's one of them, Gall. Stanford was 0 for 7 in the World Series with runners in scoring position before that Berry double. Gall with a solo home run in the second started the madness. So just a couple of mistakes in the World Series for Lexi Kilfoyle. Home runs to Katie Kistler last night and Ava Gall tonight. Only 7 home runs allowed in her first 171 innings of the year, but 2 here at Devon Park. Slowly hit ground ball to short. Bloodworth retires Gall. Casey Graff who pitch ran for McDonald stays in the game to play right here in the 4th. And one away here is Emily Jones. Back-to-back ball ones from Kilfoyle. Only thrown 3 first pitch balls to 17 batters.
A change up at a better speed there at 56, dropping it down.
Nothing quite like this place under the lights. Slapped towards short, and there's Bloodworth. 2 up, 2 down for Lexi Kilfoyle.
Now batting right fielder number 21.
It's good to see her finish her career healthy, however it is, to finish her career in Oklahoma City. Started her career at Alabama, dealt with some hip issues among other injuries for a while, really worried or wondered what she would look like if she was ever fully healthy. And she's been an amazing fit in Stillwater. Kenny Gajewski's called her one of the best-hearted human beings you'll ever meet. Lexi said this year she's really taken her treatment a lot more seriously. She said cold tubs have been big for her, eating right, getting her body in shape for the end of the season.
Yep.
And she has carried them throughout this postseason. 87% of Oklahoma State's innings in the tournament coming in, and it's now 37 2/3 out of their 42 2/3 as a staff.
When she was a player too that battled injuries, kind of left and right when she was at Alabama. She had a stress reaction in her rib. She had a foot injury and had to wear a boot, and then had this hip pain that she was dealing with too, and ended up actually having a torn hip labrum. And because of just kind of living in constant pain, she ended up hating softball, thought that she was done with it. Found her way to Oklahoma State after getting healthy.
There's something about this program. There's something about Kenny Gieske and the staff he's put together in years past, and then a newer staff in this year, that seems to help rejuvenate and revitalize players' love for the game. We heard it with Lexi Kilfoyle. We heard it with Jillian Poulard, who thought maybe she was done with softball, leaving McNeese State after just 9 games last year. We have heard it from several other players throughout the years. The level of care that these coaches put into the program, the level of detail, the character of the human beings they bring in, something really special. Caroline Wong, who you just saw the catcher, visited Oklahoma State during their Super Regional Series last year. Was in the portal as a grad student from Liberty, and she visited. She loved it. She waited a few days and said, "Why am I waiting to commit? Everything I want is right here." 3-2 for Lim, fouled off.
Well, and Kenny actually recruited Lexi when he was at Florida. She is from Florida, and when he was coaching there, already knew about her. So this recruiting process, especially when you were Lexi's age in middle school and high school, started way back. Now things have changed.
Drilled to right field. Caitlin Lim has left the building. The power surge is real for the Stanford Cardinal. Lim with their second home run of the night, and it is 4-0.
What an at-bat from the 9-hole of Caitlin Lim. Gets his pitch up in the zone. It is a drop ball, does not get down enough. Hangs up about mid-thigh, and then Lim battled in that at-bat. This is the 3rd home run that Lexi Kilfoyle has given up in the World Series. All 3 are to left-handed hitters.
Caitlin Lim, who had a walk-off home run to run rule LSU in Game 3, hit one off a tree over the center field wall. Just demolished her second home run of the postseason. Her second career home run in 28 NCAA tournament games. That was at the end of an 8-pitch at-bat. Think about Taryn Kern right now, who started the game with an 11-pitch at-bat. And Stanford has been on time and patient and all over Lexi Kilfoyle. Nearly as many runs tonight as they scored in the whole World Series last year. This is the most runs Stanford scored at the World Series since May 29th, 2004, when they beat Michigan 5-4. That is still their high water mark in 13 World Series games. A graduate student from Irvine, California, the last to touch home plate for the Cardinal. Ball 4 to Kern, who has walked twice. Where's the Lim family? There's another home run ball to collect. That's the best part of this whole World Series. A home run ball go to the family. There's nothing more exciting, nothing more wholesome than that.
It's like that you get to keep it. These days, when you go to a ballpark, oftentimes you have to give the ball up and you get like some popcorn or like a $5 voucher or something. I love the fact that you get to keep the ball.
$5 voucher would be nice, but a memory to last a lifetime might be a little nicer. And here's Kenny Gajewski and Carrie Eberle out to the circle to chat with Lexi Kilfoyle and maybe to make a pitching change. It will be Ivy Rosenberry, the senior, to take over for Kilfoyle here after 3 2/3 innings. One senior trying to take command for another, but it's Stanford in control. Ivy Rosenberry makes her debut on the World Series stage here in 2024. Senior from Winchester, Virginia. And an all Big 12 year for Oklahoma State with a 1.94 ERA. Earlier than Kenny Gajewski might have expected. I wonder if that's the last time we'll see Lexi Kilfoyle on a college softball field. Could still re-enter this game. Oklahoma State could still come back and win, but they are down 4 runs against the best pitcher in the nation. Rosenberry trying to stem the Cardinal tide.
Ball.
0-1 to Kira Chan.
And she'll throw with good velocity. More down in the zone with her drop ball and her curve ball, or a cutter as she likes to call it. Throws with 68 to 70, 71 miles an hour. Good velo.
Ball.
Strike out a single for Chan with a base hit and that 2-run third. Best pitch statistically by batting average against the curveball, 120 average against. That is the lowest in Division I of any qualified pitcher.
Yeah, and a pitch that she's thrown a lot more this year.
Ball.
Throwing it 22% more than what she did last year. And throwing it more for a strike, too, 10% more. I mean, you could look to that curveball as being such a great compliment to her drop ball, but maybe even her best pitch despite throwing her drop ball the most.
3-2 for Chan. Caitlin Lynn out of the 9th spot. Delivered a 2-out home run. Taryn Kern followed with a walk. Stanford has scored in 3 consecutive innings. Another 3-2. Kern on the run, and now she can jog. Back-to-back 2-out walks from the Oklahoma State pitching Kilfoyle and Rosenberry, and Kaylin Cope will re-enter with a couple of runners on. Ivy Rosenberry pitching here, and just the fact that she's made it to the World Series at all is amazing, because she's been dealing with a broken rib for a while. Said it's the 8th or 9th rib on her side, and said I really can't do anything worse to it. There's tape that can help her brace, but actually feels okay when she pitches. She said at this point, I wouldn't stop for anything anyway.
She can't hurt it worse. It's on the right side of her body.
Fouled away 1 and 2. One hit with runners in scoring position tonight. Jay Berry, 2 out, 2-run double in the third. 3 to 4 runs have come with 2 outs for Stanford. An explosion of offense. One of the 2 teams out of the Pac-12 here in OKC. Strike 3 for Rosenberry with a little fire. But it's Stanford continuing to apply the heat.
And apply it from all different age groups. It was the freshman early, and then the senior in the 9-hole, Caitlin Lim, added on to the lead. A solo home run for Lim. Her 5th home run of the season. Stanford up by 4.
With Stanford head coach Jessica Allister. Coach, your hitters much different from a night ago, but we have a pitching change now. What do you say to them with the new pitcher in the circle?
I think things don't change that much. We're going to have similar pitches. We're going to see some downspin, going to have good velocity, maybe a little bit less change of speeds. We got to get on time. We're a little rushed, sped up that last at bat there, but just continue to put offensive pressure. But I like the team we are today. You know, I think we're assertive, we're more confident, we're more competitive. This is Stanford softball, and it's fun to play it.
Speaking of more confident, Nigel looks a lot more confident in the circle today. What do we owe that to tonight?
Turns out she's human. She's doing great, you know, and I just think the team in general, just yesterday, we weren't necessarily like ourselves. And, you know, sometimes that happens. So I'm really proud of the way that we've rebounded and the way we're competing on the field right now.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
And it is all about the rebound. When we saw Nyjah pitch yesterday against Texas, she would get the strikeout and be a little bit more subdued than what we were used to. This is yesterday. But then tonight, when she has the strikeout stomp and the energy connecting with Ali Kaneshiro, it is just a different vibe with this team. And the energy in the game starts in the circle, Kevin, and Coach Allister can say it is a team thing. And it absolutely is. I mean, you feed off of each other for better or for worse in the dugouts, in the dugout and pregame. But I think this team really feeds off of Nyjah Kennedy and her energy when she is bringing it and feeling her best.
She's fired another rise ball past Caroline Wong. As a pitcher, how much responsibility did you feel to set the tone for your team?
A lot. And you know that the game starts in the circle, and that goes for February, that goes in the Women's College World Series, it goes when you're playing 10U. The energy and momentum and the presence of the team starts with leadership in the circle. And Nyjah Kennedy, I mean, she is human. Yes, absolutely. We can say that about Oklahoma and them losing, and Nyjah Kennedy actually giving up some runs. I mean, it does happen. But there's just a slightly different look about her yesterday that stuck out.
Go back to 4 years ago. Both Nyjah and Jessica Allister remember the date, September 1st, 2020. When Jessica Allister called Nyjah Kennedy and said, "I think you're the best pitcher in the country." She said it wasn't maybe we'll bring you in a couple other pitchers and see who says yes kind of deal. It was, "You're my first phone call. You're the best pitcher in the country." And Jessica said, "I think I have proven to be correct." Four years later, she's got the National Pitcher of the Year, the National Player of the Year. And she's got another strikeout.
She has thrown this changeup less than 5 times in this game. Threw it a couple of times in this hit bat to get Caroline well out in front. Excuse me.
It was one. You're not crazy.
What trip? Never mind.
No, I want to know. You're human. We're all human. Godwin center field. There's a base hit for Carly out of the outfield grass.
No, because I heard what was confusing is saying Wong and then hearing the announcer bring up Carly Godwin, and then Godwin was in my mind. So that's where my mind was during that.
You'll have to settle for a one-hitter tonight.
Yeah.
Godwin with a hit. That's the 3rd hit for Oklahoma State. Terrific freshman with her first of the World Series.
swinging early in the count, too, being aggressive.
Rosie Davis struck out late in the count. 7 pitches to her back in the second.
Ball.
Well, Oklahoma State has an offense that can get back into this game. The unfortunate part, I think, for them up to this point is that they've seen Kennedy 1.5 times through the order, but they haven't seen that changeup. That is a trump card in her back pocket that she has just been holding on until late in the game.
Davis toward the middle and caught by the second baseman Kern. On to first, the ball gets thrown away. Nearly a double play, but Taryn Kern will take the second out on a fabulous diving try.
Rosie Davis found herself in a hitter's count and is looking for a pitch to drive, gets jammed a bit, but great play by Kern. Goes to make that throw to first base, and it looked to me we have a tough angle that it hit the runner, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Hard to play.
Godwin saved by the armpit. And she is at first for Claire Tim, who singled her first time. Oklahoma State's going to win tonight. They're going to have to get 5, and Nigeria Kennedy has only allowed 5 once this year. That was game 1 of the Super Regionals, gave up 6-5 into LSU.
Yep.
There's a swing and a strike against him. Strikeout for Kennedy. The National Player of the Year is absolutely on fire.
And when she is on fire, it is her rise ball that is working. 6 strikeouts in this game for Kennedy. Oh, and she'll mix in a changeup there, too.
State, Teagan and Keegan, maybe they'll meet tomorrow night. Texas and Florida. 7 Eastern, 6 local on ESPN after Oklahoma and UCLA on ABC. Florida's going to pitch Keegan Rothrock. We can pretty much guarantee that. Texas could be Tegan Cavan, could be Mac Morgan, could be Citlali Gutierrez, an embarrassment of riches for the #1 seed in the nation. But boy, it was an amazing night to watch those 2 freshmen do what they do.
Yeah, those 2, and it was Caitlin Terry, another freshman pitcher for UCLA that started things early in the day as well. Didn't throw the complete game, but looked fantastic.
Yeah, so those 3 combined for 18 shutout innings. A 4-0 lead here. It's a sophomore with a shutout. Nigeria Kennedy for Stanford. Ivy Rosenberry trying to keep it right there for Oklahoma State in relief of Lexi Kilfoyle. It's a Cowgirl team that's 1 win away from its 3rd 50-win season. First since 1993. They've got some digging to do, but they are a loose and confident group. Right side, there's a base hit. Kaneshiro, who is on base safely for the 2nd time.
Well, this team, guys, lives by the acronym REP, relentless, excellence, and passion. And when we asked the players to describe what that means to them, Ivy Rosenberry had the perfect story. She said her best example was their game at Oklahoma. She said she took her pain medicine a little too early. You guys talked about that broken rib. She felt extremely nauseous, but knew her team needed her, so she pulled through. They're going to need that from her tonight, too.
I love what she told us, Alyssa, and I love what Lexi Kilfoyle told us, which is the Cowgirl way means if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, anyone can call you out. The freshman can call out a senior. They don't believe in a class system, Ivy Rosenberry said. Look, we all have the same goal at the end of the year, and they've accomplished one of those goals of getting to the World Series again.
Yeah, that relentless and excellence and passion, I think, is something that Rosenberry has shown all throughout this year. I mean, you think about last year for her, she had a 2.65 ERA, only threw 37 innings for the entire year. And this year, coming to the World Series, over 100 innings, a sub-2 ERA, has started more games.
And she picks up her second strikeout up the ladder to get Jade Berry.
This is her second strikeout, too, in her relief outing, and both have been a little bit more up in the zone. Going with good velocity, but we're talking about the Nyjah Kennedy energy in the circle. And look at Rosenberry with the reactions, trying to get this team some energy, and getting shut out right now. But Rosenberry doing everything that she can to feed life into this team.
1-1 on River Mailer, and Rosenberry, if you would believe it, and you probably would, is another transfer. Started at Virginia Tech out of Winchester, Virginia, her second year with the Cowgirls. Does have family in the state, Ardmore, Oklahoma. And she's trying to hold it right here in relief of Lexi Kilfoyle. These two who are out of eligibility after the season. These two who have been the aces of the staff. Kilfoyle at 180 and 2/3 innings. Rosenberry 109. Both all Big 12 pitchers. There have been so many terrific pitchers in this run for Oklahoma State. Kelly Maxwell, who transferred to Oklahoma but had a phenomenal career at OSU before that. There's a ground ball off of Rosenberry under the glove of Bloodworth. And River Mailer reaches as Kaneshiro pumps the brakes at second.
River Mailer has shown really great barrel control, whether it's trying to put down a bunt or going down and getting this drop ball that is pretty low in the zone, but drops her barrel down to it, hits it hard right back up the middle of the field at Rosenberry. Stanford's at-bats have looked really comfortable, put together, very confident, and I like the word that Coach Allister used, assertive. It's the beginning of the game.
Base hit for Mailer is her first of the World Series, and Stanford's 7th of the night. Strike one to Ava Gall, who got the party started with a second inning solo smash. Here comes Carrie Eberly. This gives us a chance to see that second inning smash.
Yeah, this is on a changeup against Lexi Kilfoyle. I mean, this is big because Stanford in the prior game struggling to score, but Ava Gall, the freshman, was the one who put them on the board first, immediately putting pressure on Oklahoma State to play from behind. Ava Gall hitting that changeup well out of here.
Stanford at the World Series last year scored in just 4 innings out of 29 offensively. It still won 2 games. 25 zeros on the board, 4 innings in which they've scored. They get a run here, they'll have scored in 4 straight innings tonight. This has been a volcanic evening at the plate as Wong throws late to second. The Stanford World Series run record is 5, set 20 years ago in a 5-4 win over Michigan. 2 on, 1 out for Gall right here in the 5th. And she takes one near her hip. Ava Gall is a former catcher. Emily Schultz, longtime first baseman for Stanford. Gall took over for her. Kaylin Koch started the opener at first, and Gall has started the last 63 there. Bouncing ball to third. That's too tall for Talon Edwards. Kaneshiro gets the wave home and scores, and Wong fires it into left field. Tim backs it up to hold River Mailer at third, but Ava Gall has a couple of RBI hits tonight, and Stanford is pouring it on.
This freshman has come ready to hit at the World Series and showing a lot of different ways to get the job done. Runner in scoring position, going to score Kaneshiro, and Baylor going to advance all the way to third base, just continuing to put pressure and runs on the board. That is so important. I mean, she hit that ball so hard into the ground that created almost like a fly ball hop behind Megan Bloodworth and into the outfield. Love the reaction with the splits after Kaneshiro slid in with the jump. Stanford doing everything right offensively.
Gall will leave the game for a pinch runner, Elliott. Just a .231 hitter with runners in scoring position, but Gall comes through with Stanford's second hit with runners in scoring position tonight. They get 36 RBIs for Gall, third most on the team. Barry, her freshman teammate, with 38, second most on the team. And the youth are indeed the future, and they are the present right now for Stanford, trying to stay alive here at the World Series. There's a strike to Jones. Mailer on the way to second, and the throw will not make it through. Beg your pardon, that was the pinch runner, Elliott. She picks up the stolen base. Eck with her sixth. Time for the second most of any Cardinal player, and it's second and third with only one out.
Well, at this point in the game, if you're Stanford with a 5-run lead, you, especially less than 2 outs, you're wanting to push across 3 more runs in this inning. You would love in an elimination game, and knowing the tall task ahead of you to work through more elimination games if you want to stay in this World Series, to limit the amount of innings that Nyjah Kennedy would have to throw and try to run roll Oklahoma State.
Jones left side, it's through, a base hit. Mailer will score. Eck stops at third, and Emily Jones gets her second hit of the NCAA tournament. Stanford puts up a second one in the 5th, and they've got all 6 tonight.
Just shortening up. Rosenberry is going down in the zone. They're shortening up and letting her provide the power, whether that hard chop down into the ground by Gall or Emily Jones beating a pulled up Talon Edwards. Coach Allister just loving it. I mean, back to back to back to back innings now that Stanford has scored.
So 4 half innings they scored at the World Series last year in 4 games. 4 straight half innings they score tonight. Caitlin Lim 1 for 2 with a home run her last time up. And that home run came on the 8th pitch right here against Lexi Kilfoyle.
It was such a good at bat. That's what Stanford has done all night, is battled in their ABs. Home run by the senior out of the 9-hole over that right field wall. Love the energy that they are showing tonight, feeling very confident all over the place.
Stanford's going to run again in a 1st and 3rd situation. Jones with a second stolen base of the inning. Well, it's a new high water mark for Stanford in its 14th game at the World Series. Jessica Allister was in the lineup when they beat Michigan 5-4, May 29th, 2004. 20 years and 2 days later, Jessica Allister has been windmilling all night from third base. And a base hit here by Lim could well put Stanford in a run rule position.
Ball.
That is exactly what you were thinking if you were Coach Allister, if you were in that Stanford dugout, if you're a fan behind their dugout. You want those 2 runs, especially with Nyjah Kennedy and the circle being 3 outs away from a win. If you could just pile on 2 more.
Caitlin Lim in her 28th start in the NCAA tournament career. Remember last year she came into the World Series working on a swing adjustment, a bit of a slide step that folks were calling the limb shuffle or the limb slide. She's tweaked her stance a couple of times throughout the years. Got her barrel to that ball from Kilfoyle last time up on the 8th pitch. Here's Rosenberry's 7th. Lim punches it into foul territory. 2 on, 2 out. Coming up next, Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. SBP with the top moments from both elimination games here in OKC and day 1 of the baseball regionals. Plus full highlights and post-game reaction from Game 5 of the West Finals, Oilers Stars. And a visit to the vault of the NBA playoffs with Jason Kidd, Shaq, and Kobe. That's all after the game. Sports Center with SVP here on ESPN. Taryn Curran has taken the first pitch all 7 times here at the World Series. Just settle in, all right? Might be a while.
Well, I think that you have to give her a lot of credit for setting the tone of this game in her first at bat. She ended up walking, but saw 11 pitches from Lexi Kilfoyle and put up a fight. Just did not make it easy on Kilfoyle to get comfortable quickly in this game at all.
That's the 26th pitch she's seen tonight. Walked on 11, grounded out on 7, walked on 5. Taryn Curran told us yesterday, a couple of days ago, she likes to make it a hostile environment for pitchers, and you can see from the ump cam of Tracy Laycock why it's hostile, but Stanford's going to get called out here for a runner leaving early. Emily Jones will be called for leaving early on the ball. That's a weird way to end this inning. Emily's going, what? Me? You sure? Chad Steers and Tracy Laycock are getting together here.
The ruling on the field is that the runner at second left early. Stanford is challenging the runner on the runner leaving early. This play is under further review.
5th inning, haven't used a challenge. Yeah, might as well take a shot.
Yeah, I think actually they're going to win this.
I think so.
You see that Chad Steers called it behind second base, that she did leave early, and oftentimes you don't see that a lot in game. We've seen the challenge a lot because that is new this year, that you can challenge the runner leaving early. But I think this would be the first time that it was called on the field by the umpire that I think we're going to see this actually get overturned. To Stanford's going to be back in business.
Looks like the foot's still on the bag when the ball leaves the hand.
Great shot. We got a lot of different looks here at the World Series with all of our fancy cameras.
So if this is overturned, it'll be a 3-1 count on Taryn Curran. 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. Stanford still potentially a base hit away from being in a run rule position. The replay review center here in Oklahoma City, communicating with the second base umpire Chad Steers.
You know Emily Jones right now is panicking.
You don't want to run yourself out of a possible run rule inning.
Like, so worried about what this announcement is going to be. There's no way, she said.
After review, the call is going to be changed. The runner did not leave early. Take a second.
Your heart just has to stop and your stomach sinks when a call like that is made, because you're like, wait, did I leave early? I don't think that I left early, but did I ruin this for my team right now? And very clear that she did not leave early, but just the thoughts that were going through her head, probably the longest, 3 or 4 minutes of her life.
Any lip readers out there, tell us what she said. She's still talking to herself. A gargantuan sigh of relief for Jones. And Kurt is back at it. And she walks again. 28 pitches, 7 swings, 2 walks, now 3 walks, and 4 plate appearances for Taryn Kern. They're loaded up for Kira Chan.
Such a big opportunity right here for Stanford, I'm telling you.
Ball 1 to Chan, the 8th hitter of the inning. 4 hits, a walk, 2 runs for Stanford in this 5th. It's as if Stanford skipped game 2 and went straight to game 3 from what they did against LSU last weekend. Offense shut down in game 1. A couple of days later, they run rule LSU to advance to the World Series. That game was scoreless into the 5th. Yeah, they're quick with the signs here. Coach Allister's batting 1,000 in the video reviews.
I need to know if that was made pregame or just now.
I'm thinking just now, but if it's pregame, that's amazing foresight. Is there a highlighter somewhere in the premises? Who knows?
Gotta get it up again.
I know Nerd Nation was made pregame.
Yeah.
2-2 for Chan. That ball's foul. Jessica Allister's been in a fun mood tonight, and why not?
Had a few things to say to Emily Jones, I'm sure, potentially about that review call when she was at third base rounding.
6 pitch to Chan. Gets her barrel to it. Soft ground ball to Bloodworth. And Stanford leaves him loaded. But the Cardinal get 2 more and a 6-0 Stanford lead midway through the 5th. Niagara County and the Stanford Cardinal are oh so close to Sunday night. Winner of this game will play the loser of Oklahoma UCLA. The loser of this game is out. Alabama survived today. They get the loser of Florida Texas. ABC and ESPN tomorrow. Could be the last 2 Pac-12 teams standing on Sunday night. Could be a Stanford-Oklahoma rematch if this score holds. Oklahoma State has 9 outs to get 6 runs. Michaela Wart will lead off against Niagara Kennedy. Wart, first pitch swinging high and deep to center, and not deep enough. Emily Jones with a takeaway at the top of the fence.
I love the emotion that Emily Jones is showing. Remember, she was the one at second base that called leaving early and had the heart attack there. Her heart may have actually stopped right about here, knowing that she had a chance to potentially rob a home run at the Women's College World Series. Goes up and gets it, brings it back in. You could tell trying to find exactly where that fence was, but Niagara Kennedy showing emotion all night, loves when her defense has her back like this. Center fielders have just been showing off at the World Series so far this year.
The first-year center fielder who has started every game out there. Moved from the infield last year out to the starting center field spot, and she had big shoes to fill, replacing Taylor Gindelsberger. Said that when she was little, maybe she played center field, maybe an early travel ball. But the position change freed her up in a way. She told us, if I make mistakes, I said, hey, it's all part of learning. She looks the part right now. One down in the fifth, Lexi McDonald.
Ball.
Ball 3.
And had a good first step, too, to run back and track that down. Something that she felt like she's gotten better at as this season has gone on with more reps out in center field.
Ball.
There's a walk for McDonald, who has doubled and now has the first Oklahoma State walk.
See her go back and back. Her right arm was just waiting to feel the fence. I love the reaction. Looking at Lim like, oh my gosh. I'm sure Lim was communicating with her as well as Chan. And to celebrate with your teammates and give a little bit of love out on the outfield.
You think she looked more shocked, more excited after the reversal of the call at second, or after robbing that extra base hit, possible home run?
I was honestly thinking about that, which one I felt like she looked more surprised. And I'm going to go with the catch in center field.
Quite the roller coaster inning for Emily Jones.
It has been. Yeah.
Bloodworth a sacrifice bunt her first time. Shallow left. Naylor, the shortstop, makes a call. All right. You've made your decision. Now you all at home can be the judge.
Yeah, let's actually take a vote. Here is the reaction after the call was changed, that she did not leave early. And then here's the reaction, the robbed home run. I think the robbed home run was a little bit more of a delayed reaction, it seemed to me.
I'm team reversal.
I knew you were going to say that. You got to see both of them. I was going off of just pure memory.
You could have changed your mind after watching the replays. There aren't rules here that you had to lock in your vote before the replay was shown.
Good point.
You seem a little sore about this.
I mean, either way, I just think it's hilarious, her reaction.
It's great fun.
It's so much fun.
You think our friends at No Contact College Softball have clipped that one yet? I think they probably have.
I hope so.
That's a meme waiting to happen from Emily. 2-1 for Jillian Poulard, who struck out twice. Aisha Kennedy with a strikeout in every inning coming into this one. 6 in the game. She'll get a day of rest if Stanford can close this out. Ooh, strike 2. Kennedy looking to take down the Cowgirls' leadoff hitter for a third time. And Poulard will line one into right field instead, right at Lim. 5 scoreless for Kennedy. It is nothing but Stanford. Emily Jones had herself quite the 5th inning. Run scoring single. Thought she was called for leaving early at second. Replay review overturned it. Then a great catch at center. What else is new here at the World Series? A Gold Glove winner, Kendra Falby, made a great play on Lexi McDonald. Oklahoma State's pretty sick of this. Then Amaya Burgess went up to take away a home run in her first game today against Alabama's Callie Hevlin. Great glove work at the wall and center as Jones last inning high-pointed that fly ball from Michaela Wark. An RBI and a web jam in the same inning for Emily Jones. And Stanford is rolling up 6 into the 6th. You might think, where the heck did this come from the Cardinal? Had 1 hit yesterday, but this is what they've done in elimination games all postseason. Ground ball, Kaylin Cook airs a base hit under the glove of Davis. And Cook is aboard with her second hit.
Now batting catchers before.
Allie Katashiro has been on base twice and has scored twice. to right field and a base hit. It gets away from the right fielder, Claire Tim, who just moved over from left. And Kaneshiro slides into second with Cote taking third. Ali Kaneshiro on base 3 times tonight. 2 on, nobody out for Stanford.
Lets that pitch get deep, hits it hard, and then Tim misplays it, does not keep it in front. It's going to be extra bases for Stanford. And their offense continues to stay on a roll. Should be an error on Tim out there in right field. Kaneshiro hit that hard.
Tim just went over to right. Tia Warsop just came in the game to left. So second and third, nobody out against Ivy Rosenberry. Officially, that's been scored a double by Kaneshiro. Certainly looked like a hit and an error. Either way, it's second and third.
Ball.
And a 1-1 count to Jade Berry. Berry singled in the second and third runs off Lexi Kilfoyle. That was back in the third inning.
I think every year we have a team that just plays better in elimination games. I mean, a couple of years ago it was Texas in their postseason run in the tournament when they made it to the Champ Series and played in several elimination games from regionals to supers to the World Series.
Maybe now it's a Stanford Cardinal who have loaded the bases on 2 hits and a walk. Jade Berry with the Cardinals' 5th. Another meeting at the circle between Caroline Wong, the Oklahoma State infield, and Ivy Rosenberry.
As River Mailer, we asked her what she felt like was a turning point of the season, and she pointed to the Cal State Fullerton game. And a game that they lost, and it became clear to her that making it to the World Series may not be as easy as what they had made it last year feel like and look like. And this has been just a completely different journey for Stanford. Facing elimination several times, and when you look at them making back-to-back Women's College World Series appearances, no 2 appearances really look the same for a team, for them especially.
Yep.
Rosenberry looking to get Mailer with the bases loaded, nobody out. And River will not chase. She and Nigel Kennedy are roommates, 2 sophomores. Mailer said her advice to freshmen going into Stanford would be, go in knowing it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done so far. On the field, in the classroom. She said, I came into school year thinking I made it, this is it. And that's not how it works. You have to fight for everything. And that's how her teammates have felt the last couple of weeks, like they've had to scratch and claw every pitch, every out. Here they are looking to make it a perfect 4 for 4 in elimination games in the NCAA tournament. Kenny Gajewski's team has had no answer. Stanford is just seeing pitches so well collectively tonight. Feels like everybody's turned it to Taryn Kern. They've only struck out 3 times. They've walked 5. Gall waiting on deck. And Mailer takes ball 4 for a bases loaded walk. Slams her back toward the on-deck circle on the way and makes it 7-0.
And River Mailer has such a good eye. I asked her about that good eye last year, and she said she's always had it because at a young age, Her coaches told her, watch the ball into the glove, watch the ball into the bat, never take your eye off the ball. And River Mailer learning at a young age how important it is to have a good eye drawing the walk there. Woo.
It's kind of hard to say if the energy begets the good play or the good play begets the energy tonight. It's kind of a chicken and egg situation, but Stanford has had the swagger all night long. Down to third from Gall. Edwards gets the out at home. Nicely done by Talon Edwards for the first out. Fourth elimination game of the postseason. 22-2 is now the composite score. They've hit more home runs than they've allowed runs in elimination games.
That's a stat.
They were run ruled by LSU. Then they run ruled LSU 2 games later. Stanford, the only team in the super regional era to lose via a run rule and then win via a run rule in winning their super regional. That's since 2005. They have turned this thing around in about 24 hours. Emily Jones in the air to shallow left field. Warsop makes a catch. Warsop to the plate. And did Wong hang on to the ball? It doesn't matter because she is called for obstruction to bring in Berry for the 8th run. That's why so many coaches are aggressive sending runners from third, because this kind of thing happens all too often.
You can see that Wong has her knee down before having possession of the ball, blocking the leading edge. The only thing in my mind is if she would have been clearly out. But Kenny Gajewski not going to come out of the dugout, but you see Wong put her knee down before she has possession of the ball.
Now Kenny is coming out. Can you say she would have been clearly out if she didn't catch the ball cleanly? And that would be part of that too. The umpires are going to huddle together. She might have been safe anyway, honestly. Is Berry tagged before she touches the plate after the fumble?
The ruling on the field is obstruction at the plate. Runner is safe. Oklahoma State is challenging the ruling on the field. This play is under further review.
Well, they're going to lose this challenge, and this is going to be a run rule situation. Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst, is standing by. Christy, what do you see?
Well, you both are correct. There are 2 elements of this play. One is the catcher's position. You can see that she drops her knee, blocking that leading edge before she has possession, and then she loses possession of the ball, but she's still obstruction. She is still in the obstructing position, so I think we should have obstruction on this.
Christy, what should a catcher do on that play?
She has to stay a little bit more in fair territory out in front of the plate, catch the ball, and then block and put the tag on.
All right, Christy, thank you. Our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell, with us all World Series. And looks like we're going to have an 8-0 Stanford lead on Emily Jones' 2nd RBI in as many innings.
You see her foot just slide right under despite Wong being right in front of home plate.
Still waiting from Chad Steers, which gives us a chance to listen to a little more 80s REM. Top 5 REM albums we're waiting. What do you think? Got to have Murmur in there, right? Automatic for the People. Out of Time.
Yeah, what else should we have in there?
I'm asking you. You're a big Uphead, as I recall.
The ruling on the field of obstruction has been upheld. Runner is safe.
There you have
That's
it.
Oklahoma State's first challenge.
Great to have replay here at the World Series. New adventures in hi-fi the last couple of years. 8-0 Stanford. It is officially a run rule position for the Cardinal. They've scored in 5 consecutive innings. Caitlin Lim with an RBI on that home run. The bottom of the order has just been dynamite for Stanford. Every Stanford starter has reached base in the game, 1 through 9. And in fact, the top 7 in the lineup have all reached base multiple times. The only 2 Cardinal hitters not to reach base twice are Jones, who has an RBI single and a sac fly, and Lim, who has a home run. As a reminder, this team had a hit yesterday. A first inning single, 4 walks, and nothing else.
Well, this just gives them so much confidence. Gives Nyjah Kennedy confidence that her team is going to show up and put runs on the board for her against a great pitching staff.
Strike 3. Lim down looking. Stanford gets 2 more, and they can walk this thing off with 3 outs.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. 5 straight innings with runs for Stanford. Production from every spot in the lineup. The 8 seed with an 8-run lead. And Nyjah Kennedy with 3 more outs without allowing a run will end this game for Stanford with a run rule victory. It would be its first run rule victory ever in 14 games at the World Series. In part because Stanford had never scored more than 5 in a World Series game. They got Kennedy some run support early, and she has looked like the National Player of the Year she is. Facing 2-3-4, Talon Edwards for Oklahoma State. Fouls 1 away.
She just always finds a way to respond, doesn't she? Nyjah Kennedy looked human last night and just has looked really sharp. Started out this game with a strikeout and a 3-up, 3-down inning and really has not looked back.
And 3 outs left in this Oklahoma State season, which, however this thing ends, is an enormous success because, stop us if you heard this before, the Cowgirls were not necessarily supposed to be here at the start of the season. Very, very young team. 24 players on the roster, 15 either freshmen or sophomores. Lost a ton. Obviously lost Kelly Maxwell to Oklahoma, which was a move that shook the softball world to its core. They lost a couple of coaches. John Bartfelt retired. Whitney Clower left the program in December. Snared by Gall at first. He retires Talon Edwards. 1 away. They leaned on the little experience that they had this season. They had that experience all year in the circle with Lexi Kilfoyle. They have it with a batter coming up right now. One of those transfers, Caroline Wong. And there is Lexi, who started tonight. 3 2/3, did not have her best stuff. But these are the numbers that we'll remember for Lexi Kilfoyle, who has been one of the standard bearers for this program. Top 3 finalists for the USA Softball Player of the Year. An All-American back-to-back seasons. Kenny Gajewski told us last year that when Lexi Kilfoyle walks in this place, the lights get brighter. We could say similar things about his first-year catcher Wong, going to end her career with Oklahoma State. Caroline Wong's played the 3rd most games of any active player, only behind Florida's Skylar Wallace, Florida State's Devin Flaherty. They've been an amazing battery. They made an instant connection. Look, Caroline Wong told us that she can't even say the World Series was a dream of hers, because before this year it wasn't even a possibility. And Kenny Gajewski said, you guys can do whatever you want to do. You can get to the World Series, win the World Series in the fall. Caroline told us we weren't looking so hot. They were squeaking by games in fall ball, and about a month into the season, she realized they could get here. They won a series at Oklahoma State. They took the Bedlam series in their final matchup as Big 12 rivals. They have had an amazing run. And Wong not ready for that run to end as she works a walk.
Well, and I think that when you talk to Coach Gajewski, it's just how he's described this team as being fearless, always up for the challenge, a blue-collar type team, and he's had a blast with this team. He had so many moments this year where he looked back and thought to himself, I can't believe we just did that.
And that's likely going to be the end of the line for Caroline Wong in her 267th career game. And if it is the end, how fitting that it ends with Wong reaching base. Scotland David, another one of those departing seniors, is the pinch runner. There are 5 of them on the roster that will run out of eligibility after the year. Wong, who just walked, David, who's running for her, Poulard, who hit leadoff tonight, Jillian Poulard, and then the pitchers Ivy Rosenberry and Lexi Kilfoyle.
You have to be careful here with Godwin, who has such big pop in her bat, knowing that you're trying to finish this game early, trying to get these last 2 outs, but Godwin can hit the ball a long way.
Now, Oklahoma State gets a run here, and the game goes on to the 7th inning. First team all Big 12er Carly Godwin. What a career she could have in Stillwater. Into short center field, Jones breaking in. Jones with another spectacular catch. That first step looks pretty darn good.
Whether it's back or whether it's forward, we've seen her go back. Now we have a chance to see her put on the burners and go forward. That ball was in the air just long enough for her to get her glove underneath it. Kind of landed awkwardly, but still held on to it for that all-important second out to a home run hitter in Godwin. A must-make play to get within 1 out of winning this game.
And Rosie Davis, a freshman, standing in the way. At the wall in the 5th and in shallow center in the 6th. The first-year center fielder Jones has committed a couple of robberies of Cowgirl hitters. 1-0 from Kennedy. Strike 1. In the words of Jessica Allister yesterday, she was human. Tonight she has been her typical superhuman self. Strike 2 to Davis.
And more has been put on her in the postseason this year. Only threw 57% of the innings in the NCAA tournament last year. Entering this game, it was over 80%.
Davis pops it up, and she will stay alive.
It start to weigh on you over time, especially with the pressure and expectations and being a sophomore and more hitters knowing you and better scouting reports and be National Player of the Year.
Another 1-2. There's the changeup. Told you earlier today, she'd allowed 2 earned runs in a game 4 times this year. She responded with a shutout in the following game, 3 of the next 4. 1 strike away. 1 strike away, she will remain. Lexi Kilfoyle hoping she has more pitches left in her career. And she does indeed as Davis draws the walk. No swing, says Robbie Guest. 2 walks in the inning. And the Cowgirls ride on. Ivy Rosenberry watching. Down the lineup, Oklahoma State goes to Claire Tim.
I talked about those lower pitches that Kennedy was missing against Texas last night, showing a bit of a lack of command, and seeing them more in this inning here, trying to close out this game. See Kaneshiro going out to talk to her, to give her a little bit of advice. Kaneshiro, the one doing all the talking. I love this side. I'm glad that this is not blocked anymore. Topeka to OKC to see the Nyjah stomp in person.
Yep.
So you can see it on TV, but to see it in person is different.
It's different. It's just over 4 hours northeast from here. Look, if you get a chance to see Nyjah Kennedy in person, you take that chance. She is one of those transcendent stars in the sport. There's a great piece last month, or earlier this month in the Athletic, about Nyjah Kennedy and the growth of softball. Monica Abbott, terrific pitcher who does some work for us, said that, I believe Nyjah can be the Caitlin Clark of softball. That's from a pitcher who's been clocked at 77 miles per hour saying that. And Monica said, I think Nyjah's going to throw a pitch faster than mine at some point. The limit does not exist. So much expectation, so much pressure on her shoulders because of the numbers she's put up. And she just delivers time and time again. Another 0-2. If there is an equivalent to watching Caitlin Clark pull up from 32 feet away in softball, it might be Nyjah Kennedy throwing a pitch at 75 miles per hour right by you. 99th pitch of the night coming. Got away from her, and Nyjah looks to be in a little bit of pain there after an awkward landing. Maybe she just had the ball hit against her hip. She is walking around the circle after a wild pitch.
And if it's not pain, it's for sure some kind of discomfort with what happened.
Jessica Allister is coming out to the circle with a member of the Stanford staff.
Actually, the ball hit off of her front leg, and that has happened before. This is a pitch that you can see hit off of her front knee. It's a changeup she's trying to throw, and that hurts. Done that before.
Well, she sure straightened it out on the next one. Nyjah Kennedy and Stanford run rule Oklahoma State. And the Cardinal crush in another elimination game. Kennedy maybe still feeling the pain, but she delivered the pain tonight, striking out 7 Oklahoma State hitters as Stanford sets a World Series record with 8 runs, and the Cardinal will move on to Sunday night.
Their offense showed up in a big way. Nyjah Kennedy got the shutout, but 11 hits and 8 runs for the run rule for Stanford.
So Oklahoma State's magical run this season comes to an end here in Oklahoma City as we say goodbye to Duke and to Oklahoma State. And from 8, we are down to 6. Oklahoma, UCLA, and Texas, Florida in the winners bracket tomorrow. That means Stanford is either going to have a rematch with Oklahoma from the World Series last year or an all-conference of champions battle with UCLA. Wow. Tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. 7 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings for Nyjah Kennedy.
She just looked different tonight. She had the emotion, she had the momentum, she had her rise ball, her curve ball, and a bit of her changeup. Didn't need it a lot, but the stomp is what we were looking for last night, and the stomp is what we got tonight.
And the Stanford offense gets production from every hitter in the lineup. Nyjah Kennedy still clearly in some pain after the penultimate pitch. She threw off her knee. So Nyjah Kennedy and Stanford will play Sunday, and on the other side of it, Oklahoma State says goodbye. Kilfoyle, Rosenberry, Wong, David, and Pollard, incredible careers. Oklahoma State will be back. We thank them for everything these seniors have done for the sport. But it's Stanford moving on. And coming up after the break, moving on to SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt.